Hey everyone, I'm Devin, and this is Devin Talks Tabletop, the YouTube channel where the games are made up and what I say doesn't matter. I think that's what it was. I think that's what my intro was. I don't have any, my water's over there, so I could do timestamps, but I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. Pardon me shaking off the rust because it has been a while since I've filmed, but I wanted to reach out and say hello. I miss all of you. I miss doing content on a more regular basis. I've talked with some of the other content creators that started around the same time as me, and it was a nice, I guess, retaliation against the pandemic when we all started doing content as a way to reconnect with the world. So, random tangential reflection, I guess, but happy to be here. I am, if you haven't noticed yet, talking about Marvel United today. I quibbled about what to eventually title this video uh, as maybe the only reason I own Marvel United, but I didn't want to be overly exclamatory and hyperbolic to the point that it would bother people. I didn't want to be clickbaity. So I'll figure out what to title this later. But the reason why I was tempted to say the only reason that I own Marvel United is truly because of how much this system condensed the game. So, for your context, for your information, I have everything for Marvel United. Now, I don't have DC United, but I have all 3 seasons of Marvel United. I have the first Marvel United, I have Marvel United X-Men, and then I had the Marvel United multiverse, the all-in pledges for all 3 campaigns. When I originally played this game, I didn't have any of these. I actually got the first game and X-Men later when a friend located a all-in pledge and was able to give it to me. But I just bought the base game and the Spider-Man expansion off of Amazon to test it out. And I knew after I played it that number one, I liked it, but that it was also, to me, so contingent at the time upon getting a lot more villains because the heroes weren't so special at the time. Now, the multiverse campaign fixed that somewhat with the equipment decks that gave characters a little bit more of a unique feel to them and a little bit more versatility and special gameplay. When I say incredibly condensed, I really do mean it. These games, these 3 pledges, I counted before I came over to do the video, not including cardboard villain boxes, dashboards, cardboard locations, any acrylic or plastic token packs or anything. Ignore all of the small boxes that can exist, like the exclusive heroes that were added on in certain campaigns. Ignoring all of those small boxes that do still take up a blueprint eventually, the 3 campaigns had 30 boxes to them, 30 core game stretch goals and expansion boxes that would have, in a collection like mine, which I know maybe to the larger world my collection seems excessive and large, to I feel like a lot of the board game community, it's somewhat restrained. I've probably culled 4 times more games than I actually own just to keep a tight collection. But I mean, 30 boxes would have filled up, man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you could get about 4, per, then yeah, maybe 30 boxes would have taken up, I'd say, at least 6 of those just based off of the size of the stretch goal boxes. Um, Maybe I just did math horribly wrong. No, I think the stretch goal box, yeah, it would have taken up maybe 6 boxes or 6 of those Kallax shelves, cubes, and then the little stuff would have taken up a 7th one for sure if I kept all of it sorted. So I would have said maybe 7 to 8 just to be safe, based off of how you're stacking and how big some of those boxes were. Yeah, 7 to 8 Kallax cubes. and I have it condensed pretty much in half to just 4 shelves, a little bit less than 4 shelves, honestly. And I have it organized in a way that not only condenses the space, but makes it way more accessible to play any aspect of the content. Because that's the other issue with Kickstarter campaigns and mega, Kickstarter or crowdfunding bloat, when they give you a base game and then so many expansions with a bunch of variety to pump into your gameplay. Because they're all separated out in other boxes, it makes it somewhat onerous to get out the base game and then to find the expansion content that you want to plug in and then get that particular box or a number of boxes out, depending on where all of that extra content is located. Getting that all out on the table. And that's not really as much the case with this system. And I'll do a little bit of showing. I don't have my top down on, and I'm not going to because it's just not as clear. So I'd rather just talk to you and show this from a front visual standpoint. But I really, really do like what One Sharp Joe did. So these systems are from One Sharp Joe Crafts. I've known Joe for some years now. I would probably say close to the majority of the amount of years I've been in the industry. And I just think he makes really clever designs. One of the first things he ever did, is it's off camera so you can't see, was just a small box that he custom made for me. It was the overall system for a different deck box for, I don't know if it was Magic or something else, but he custom designed the visuals on it for my Space Hulk Death Angel card game, solo card game collection that I've got. Because I have the base game and the expansions, and I really like that. So he custom made that, which was really nice. It was a treat, and I've kind of known him ever since, and he has continually risen or raised the standards of what he's been doing for organization. I don't even know how to talk anymore. It's been so long that I don't even know how to talk anymore. I'll probably show off the newest creation that he did first, which these are the miniature storage. It takes all of the massive amounts of chibi miniatures that Simon did, and he creates a nice little magnetized lid here, and then you can just pull out all of the different minis. Now, if you're familiar with the Marvel United world, red means straight villain, can't be anything else. Purple means anti-hero, which can play as a villain, but also can play as a hero, as befits a lot of the different characters that are in the Marvel superhero world. And then blue is straight hero. And so I have got all of these different people filled out here. Now I believe that this is the Marvel, United one. So this is just the original one. So this one has both the first and the second campaign of minis in it. This has got Marvel United and Marvel United X-Men inside here. These deck boxes and card boxes are split up into the 3 campaigns. So you've got Marvel United X-Men, and Marvel United Multiverse there, and I'll show you those in a moment. But I just think this is such a clever design. It makes all of them very easy to get out. If you wanted to add your own additional organizational flair, you could maybe label the bases where they're going to make it even more clear where they're at. You could do it alphabetically. You could do so many things here. I kind of have it organized via game. So I have all the Marvel United heroes together, and then the X-Men heroes together, and then the multiverse heroes over in the multiverse box. But it is a very nice system of being able to go through and grab whoever you want. Now, because in the original, there is not really any like labeling in those original boxes, and the stretch goal box was just crazy. It was just they unlocked so many heroes that it just made it absurd to fit all of them without it being a massive ordeal. So I really like this system. The nice thing about this is that because it's got that magnetic clasp, you can kind of pop it open real quick. either keep it in your shelves and get what you want, or maybe pull out a whole tray and take it with you, so that you can mix and match, because you can play games of Marvel United pretty easily and pretty quickly. So you could bring a bevy of heroes over and mix and match between them. But this just makes being able to see everyone that you could possibly play together, and grab them at a moment's notice. And because you have access to both of these campaigns, and potentially in the Calax shelf right next to you, the third campaign, you can mix and match heroes, villains, anti-heroes, as easily as you want, as long as you're familiar enough with the comics to know who's who, which I do struggle with sometimes because some of the heroes look similar. But that's not my fault. That's the fault of years and years of comic creation. Some heroes just seem similar. But this is the base one in Marvel United X-Men, and then this one is Marvel United Multiverse. Now this one is going to be a little bit different because it has space in here for some of the mega-sized characters. Like if I pull this out a little bit, boom, you've got the Sentinels that are from X-Men. They fit inside this one as well. But there are different base sizes in here because there are some different size beasties. And they just nestle in so nicely. But Joe has made it to where all of the different minis have spaces that fit their sizes. So I just really like this system. I think it's really clever, and it cleanly gets you all the miniatures set up in a way that's not in their, molded vacuum trays in the original boxes, which protects them, sure, but also just because of how that molded plastic functions, it wastes a ton of space, and this is a much more efficient use of space for someone. Like, if I didn't have these systems, I wouldn't own the game. It takes up too much space. And I want as many villains as possible because they're the unique twist on the game. They make every single game different because the requirements for how they're beaten and how they influence the battlefield, the different set locations, all of that is influenced by villains. So I wanted as many as possible. I just genuinely wouldn't have kept this game. This game would have been called a long time ago if I didn't have this storage solution. So let me get to what Joe originally designed, which are these boxes. So the miniature box was a relatively new concept that he's finalized, and I was one of the guinea pigs. I was working with him to figure out what the best way of storing these was. And when I say I was working with him, I mean I was throwing Discord comments back to his actual creative experimentation. I don't think you can give me any credit to actually devising anything. I was just there. I was just Devin, and I was just giving notes. These boxes I think are really, really clever, and he's got an extra special treat in these that you can add on, which I did because I got plastic tokens. So let me move this one off of these. Now keep in mind, the one caveat that I will give to all of this is that naturally it condenses, 8, 10, 12 boxes worth of content, cardboard-wise, token-wise, into one, which makes these quite heavy. I keep them on the bottom 2 shelves of my area so that I remember that they're heavy. I keep my heavy stuff on the bottom to train my brain to remember, hey, this is heavy, don't hurt your back. But it comes with a nice little nested top here. And then there are 2 pieces to this. There is a top tray that houses your villain dashboards. Now, I don't have it for every single one of these. I think I have it for 2 of the 3. It will fit cardboard locations and cardboard villain dashboards. So you can fit those things inside here, which is awesome because those are extra boxes, and them's heavy, and it's nice to get rid of them. So I'm going to get this little tray off the top, and I will probably just lift this to where you can see at an angle what's going on. So inside here, there are dividers. Now the dividers are the one thing that Joe does not have, that he like, partners is a loose term. He steers you to an Etsy seller, and the Etsy seller is the one that does these vertical dividers. They do them for a lot of different games, but these particular vertical dividers work within the system that Joe has made, and they separate out all of the cards in Marvel United, which is a lot. Every hero has their own cards, every villain has their own master plan deck, and everything is devised, like everything in the game functions through these cards. So there are a lot of them, and when you get all the stretch goals and all the other people, it multiplies by a lot. And this organizes it really, really well. Again, like, so I do it by expansion and base game stuff, and then after that I do it alphabetically. That's just how I have organized them. You can do them however you want. But for me, if I know that I want to play in this base game, and I'm going to get a stretch goal, I'm going to play with Black Widow from the base game, so I'm going to grab Black Widow, who's up here. Then I want to look in the stretch goal box, and I'm going to go over here, and I want to add Luke Cage into the mix. I'm going to have Luke Cage join Black Widow. And then after that, I want to go over to the Spider-Man group, and I want to add Miles Morales to it. I'm going to add Miles Morales, Luke Cage, Black Widow, and then the fourth player I might pull all the way over from... I'll do it in Asgard. Then I'll bring in Loki because, need to rep some Tom Hiddleston. And Loki, if I remember right, is an anti-hero, so you can play him. And then also has the locations in here. The cardboard ones, which actually can come out. It's a physical box that can lift out from this. But you just grab the cards that you need and go. And then you'll go here and you'll grab the miniatures that you need. And to me it makes it fast and makes it simple. And then it also makes putting it back simple. I just go to where those characters are, slot their cards back. And if I have this nearby the table where I'm playing, then I can even very comfortably switch heroes between games. If I didn't like that particular matchup, if Black Widow, Luke Cage, Miles Morales, and Loki weren't getting along, I could throw out some Scarlet Witch, some Shang-Chi, some She-Hulk, and some Spider-Man 2099. But speaking of Spider-Man 2099, I think that guy, referring to the Across the Spider-Verse, I don't like his MO. I don't trust him. I don't trust that character at all. Something nefarious is going on there. I don't trust that. That's just Devin's prediction for the third movie in that series. Yeah, so this is Marvel United. And then I drop this back down. And then if you've decided to get plastic tokens, or you could even do this with, you don't have to do it with plastic tokens. You can do it with cardboard ones. But these are nice token holders. So this organizes all of the tokens that you might need, has a little magnetic lid to clasp over it, and you can just bring this to the table, and again, just kind of cleans up, organizes, streamlines, and improves the whole process. So you've got your villain dashboards. I've still got my cardboard tokens up here, but you've got your plastic tokens at least. They're locked away into a nice little sturdy travel thing. I've got my rule books. I've got everything that I need going on, and then underneath there, I have all of the cards. And that's how one of these boxes functions. So if I grab the X-Men version of it, and maybe I want to bring some X-Men guys in with Marvel United, that's totally fine. I can grab the heroes that I want from there, and then I can lift up this section, and then I can start scrolling through. I've got more of these token holders here that are specific to X-Men, and then some more generic ones in case I'm only playing with the X-Men characters and I just want to access quickly some of the base game tokens. But yeah, maybe I want to bring in Phoenix 5 characters. Oh my gosh, I've been playing Marvel Rivals, and I suck, but man, are some of those characters cool. I just saw Namor or Namor over here. He's like an anti-dive in that game. It's quite fun. But so again, I've got it separated out into the different games and expansions that are here, and that allows me to pull the X-Men. I kind of have more of an affinity for X-Men because it's the movies that I grew up with, and I was never really a comic book kid, so I do love the X-Men series a lot. But I've got a bunch of tokens up here, I've got the rule books here, and I've got my dashboards. Once again, I don't have all of the cardboard ones for these games, which does reduce the weight a little bit, but there is room for it. If you have absolutely everything, these boxes will fit absolutely everything. So these two right here, this Marvel United and Marvel United X-Men, these fit into one Kallax. These fit into another one. And then this big multiverse baby, this one fits into one on its own. I've even got a little box here for the campaign decks, so if you want to turn Marvel United into an even more special thing, you've got World War Hulk, War of Kings, all those guys that came in the Multiverse Pledge are locked away here. And then just one additional thing, this is a much taller lid because this is a much larger box. It is like 1.5 times the height of the other ones because it had so much content in that final third Multiverse Pledge. And this one, I do have the cardboard locations and the cardboard villain dashboards. And so all of that is stored away here. Oh my goodness, it's so heavy because there's so many cards. And I've got all of the nice cards stored in here. So, I mean, once again, massive, beautifully organized setup. I know that this is like visually not the best to show every single component of this. I might take some pictures and mix them into the editing, or I might not, and I might just say that and then be evil. But yeah, I just think that this is such a clever system, and it makes it to where wherever I want to pull from in the Marvel United multiverse, you know, multiverse squared, then I'm able to, because they're all within quick reach. I mean, it's props to Joe and his One Sharp Joe Crafts company. I think he's done a really good job here, and I'm grateful because he's also looking to make organization for other stuff, which I won't say no to. I'm a weak man when it comes to organizing and consolidating. I'm a weak man. But this is really, really clever. You've got Marvel United X-Men, Marvel United Multiverse, and then miniature storage for all three of those campaigns. Yeah, just I have been thoroughly pleased with how these have worked out. Until Multiverse came, I kind of cheated. I did these first two ones with not any glue and just dry fit them, and they'll work. It works that way. You know, I mean, it really just depends on how tightly you're able to fit everything. But once I got the multiverse stuff, I was like, you know what? There's so much stuff going on. I do need to properly build these, and so I went and disassembled these elements and then glued them and rebuilt everything from the ground up with wood glue. So now they're nice and sturdy, way more sturdy than they were previously. But I'm a fan. This is legitimately the only storage reason why I own the game. 30 boxes is just too many. 30 and change if you count all the extra stuff like the villain locations and villain dashboards, all that stuff. It's just too much. It's too much. But this I can work with. So thank you to Joe for just being awesome. It did. I mean, it must be must be 3 or 4 years at this point, maybe closer to 4 since we met and you gave me that box. That was very kind of you. So yeah, Marvel United boxes. I'll show some pictures so that you don't just hate looking at me and these from a solitary angle the whole time. Just that's not gonna get like the resolution. Like I would do it and then people would be annoyed that it wasn't crisp enough because my setup just ain't crisp enough. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I love this whole system. I can give you more details about how the divider system works, about how I went about my miniature organization. There's better ways to do it, undoubtedly, but I'm thoroughly pleased to have compressed the entirety of my Marvel United collection into just 4 Kallax boxes. It makes it, because this is such an approachable like time length game, having it and having this much of it means that whether I'm playing with my son Avery or eventually, my daughter or my other son when they get a little bit older, or any family members and friends that come over, just anybody that's interested and maybe has an appeal for this franchise, for this IP, makes it very easy for me to pull out and not feel the burden of unboxing 15 of the 30 boxes to get the characters that everybody loves. Because some people like X-Men, some people like a different subset, of heroes. Some people just want to watch the world burn because they like Pyro a lot. I got there. I made it eventually to some relevant reference, I think. It's been so long since I've done this, guys. I don't even know how to outro myself anymore. But if you have any questions, let me know. I miss all of you guys. You're wonderful humans. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.